YouTube.
Okay. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have State of Texas versus Joe Payne, cause 647-794 and 667-411. The first two documents I need to look at are entitled Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference, one for each case. In fact, Mr. Payne, is this your signature on both of these documents, sir?
You have to unmute yourself, Mr. Payne.
And your microphone's turned off, Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're good. Thank you, sir. And Mr. Lamas, as attorney for Mr. Payne in both cases, are these your signatures on both documents?
They are, Your Honor.
Mr. Payne, in both cases, cause 647-794 and 667-411. The next document I have, one for each case, is entitled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions that purport to have your signatures on the back, effectively waiving certain constitutional rights you must waive in order to enter a plea before this court. In fact, sir, is this your signature on each of these documents, one for each case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. In each case, by signing these documents, are you telling me that you've had enough time to either read these documents or have them read to you in their entirety? If you had any questions about what was on these documents, those questions were answered to your satisfaction by your attorney, Mr. Lamas, so that in signing these documents, you're telling me that you agree with and understand everything on both of these documents. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Lamas, in both cases, have you had enough time to go over these cases with Mr. Payne, and in your opinion, is he mentally competent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Payne, are you a United States citizen, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Lamas, in both these cases, has the state fully complied with discovery for you?
They have, Your Honor.
All right, let's start with cause 647-794. Excuse me. And cause 647-794. And did this start out as a DWI? It did. To the charge of driving while intoxicated, first offense, Mr. Payne, how do you plead?
No contest, Your Honor.
Okay, is there an agreement for Mr. Payne in 647-794?
There is, Your Honor. It is for 12 months, deferred adjudication, a $700 fine, 48 hours of community service, which is probated for his military service, DWI intervention, victim impact panel, CATSNIP, Smart Start Mobile for half the term.
And Mr. Lamas, is that your understanding of the agreement for 647-794? And I'm assuming this runs concurrent with 667-411. Is that correct, State?
That's right, Your Honor.
And that is our understanding, Your Honor.
Thank you. And did y'all make a determination where Mr. Payne wants to live? It's going to be Louisiana, or it's going to be Georgia, or where he would like to go?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, the reason why I was in Louisiana right now is because I didn't want to go too far away from Texas, without knowing which direction the case was going to go. So I do have a security job offering in Atlanta. So it's a very possible chance that I may move out there within the next month or so.
Okay. Susan, it's going to take more than a month to transfer one place, is it not?
It will, but they need to have a definitive address and have him in place before they can even start the process. And being that he's only on for 12 months, because he doesn't have a designated spot right now, the case isn't going to be able to be transferred unless you tack on a few more months to allow him to move, get settled, and then we do the process. So the only other way that you would be able to do this, Judge, is have him report by mail or report by Zoom, or you give him like a 15-month probation, and then we would be able to transfer him once he got settled.
Well, see if we can do this. How about if he's currently in Louisiana, right, Mr. Payne?
Yes, Your Honor.
And within 30 days, probably plus or minus, you'll make a decision whether you're going to move to Atlanta or not. Would that be accurate?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So right now he's in Louisiana, so we use Louisiana, and he's just going to be answering by Zoom from Louisiana. And then within 30 days, plus or minus, he's going to let us know whether you're going to stay in Louisiana or go to Atlanta or wherever else you want to go. And then you'll have a finite place that we can use to transfer the probation to. Will that work?
No, when a transfer is initiated on a new case, they have to have 12 months. So like you grant him today, he goes through orientation, let's say next Tuesday, they would begin the transfer process right then and there. They have to have a 12-month sentence. If he isn't going to be in Atlanta for another month or 2 months, then he only has 10 months left on his sentence. It's not eligible for transfer. He would have to be continued to be supervised either via mail or via Zoom.
Okay, Mr. Lamas, I suggest this. Let's say we make it, instead of a normal 1-year probation, which was going to be for both these cases, it would be 14 months with the understanding that's 2 extra months than we all agree we need. I think on DWIs, I don't have the authority to early terminate or do anything about that. So if it's 14 months, it stays at 14 months. But once Mr. Payne has done everything, he's going to be answering by mail anyway, and he had nothing left to do except not get in trouble again. Is that going to be a problem for the defense or something y'all want to chat about? I'm running out of options. My hands are tied on how I can transfer this.
I think that'll be fine, Your Honor. Could we also
That's fine,
keep
Your
it
Honor.
at the 6 months, the interlock device?
I can certainly take the Smart Start Mobile off after half the term. If he's done well and there are no problems, he'd only be on that for, I can do 6 months. That's not a problem.
Okay, yeah, that should be fine, Your Honor.
Yes, Susan.
Yes,
One more thing, when you notate the file, since CATSNP is not online, you need to notate CATSNP or equivalent. That way, when he gets to Georgia, he can find a drug and alcohol class that is the same time frame, but that needs to be noted on the system.
Yeah, what that boils down to, Mr. Payne, is once if let's say for the sake of conversation, you decide to go to Atlanta and you're going to have a job and you're going to do all that. You won't be able to do what we call CATSNP, the Community Alliance for Traffic Safety Outpatient Drug. We can help you find another one, or you can find one. It just has just a basic outpatient drug alcohol course. And they're all kind of the same. And just one that runs for the same amount of time, which Susan is what, 6 weeks? 2 hours a week?
Sorry, Judge, I got frogs today. It's a 2-hour class. And CATSNP is a total of 16 hours. So it'd be 2 hours a week for 8 weeks.
Okay. So we'll just find an equivalent one of those in Georgia and you're good. Is that okay
Yes,
with
Your Honor.
you, Mr. Lamas?
Sounds good to me, Your Honor.
Okay with you, Mr. Payne?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay with you, Mr. Villarreal?
Yes, Judge, absolutely.
And then I'm just going to make the Smart Start Mobile time frame what it would have been originally, which is half of the 12 months, which is 6 months. And if that's okay with the state, normally the state wants half, and that would be this time be 14 months. But the only reason we're tacking on the extra 2 months on both these cases is to be able to still be able to transfer it. So that's where we're at. Okay.
That's okay with the state, Judge.
All right. All good.
Mr. Payne, as soon as you get your address in Georgia, you need to contact your officer in Bexar County, okay? So that she can
Yes, Your Honor.
start that process. And Judge, on your notes for intake purposes, if you can put defendant currently resides in Louisiana, but will be transferring to Georgia. Thank you.
I like Georgia. Anywhere where you have to tell them not to sweeten your tea is my kind of place. You can't get tea in Georgia.
Yes, Your Honor.
Regular tea is going to come sweet. All right, let me run through this to make sure everybody's on the same sheet of music. Mr. Payne, in cause 6477794, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated, first offense. Although I have enough evidence to find you guilty, I'm going to withhold a finding of guilt, place you on 1 year deferred adjudication probation. I set the $700 fine plus court costs, 48 hours community service, probating all that based on your military service, DWI intervention or equivalent, DWI victim impact panel or equivalent. I think you can take those online, so that won't be a problem. And the intervention, probably not. That's going to have to be in person. Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program or equivalent outpatient drug alcohol course for the same amount of time, which is going to be 16 hours, 8 weeks, 2 hours a week. Smart Start Mobile Home Interlock at 4 blows a day for 6 months. And this case will run concurrent with 667411. Annotation on the file: transfer to defendant currently resides in Louisiana, but intends to move to Georgia within 30 days and will let his probation officer know, at which time we will transfer probation to Georgia. Does that sound right, Susan?
Yes, Your Honor. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. And we're going to recall all bond conditions and warrants that are previously out there. Apparently, Mr. Payne has a warrant because he did something colorful and I lit him up, unlike you. So anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Payne in 647794?
Nothing from the state, Judge.
All right.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
And Mr. Payne, now on cause 667411. Let me read my sheet Eddie sent me. Let's see what we're doing with you on that one. So Eddie, you got a motion on this one, it would appear.
Yes, Judge. The state moves to waive the second enhancement and proceed on DWI first.
No objection from the defense, that will be granted.
No objections from the defense, Your Honor.
So that being granted, Mr. Payne, in cause 667411 to the charge of driving while intoxicated, first offense, how do you plead, sir? Believe it was
No contest, Your Honor.
And is there an agreement now for the remainder of the probation requirements for Mr. Payne?
Yes, Your Honor. They will be the same as cause number 647794. It's for a 14-month deferred adjudication, a $700 fine, 48 hours of community service, which is to be probated, plus court costs, DWI intervention, victim impact panel, CATSNet, Smart Start Mobile for 6 months. And we ask that this run concurrent with 647794.
And Mr. Lamas, is that your understanding of the agreement on this case?
It is, Your Honor.
Okay, let's see if I get this one right. Mr. Payne, in clause 667411, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated, first offense. Although I have enough evidence to find you guilty, I'm going to withhold the finding of guilt. Place you on 14 months deferred adjudication probation, assess a $700 fine plus court costs, 48 hours of community service, probating all that based on your military service, DWI intervention or equivalent, DWI victim impact panel or equivalent. I think you can do that online, so that shouldn't be a problem. Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program or equivalent, outpatient drug alcohol course, which would be 16 hours, normally 8 weeks at 2 hours per week. Smart Start Mobile home interlock at 4 blows a day for 6 months. This case to run concurrent with 647794, recalling all pretrial services, bond conditions, and warrants that may exist at this time. An annotation for the record in case something comes up in the future. The only reason that the state and the defense and the court have agreed on a 14-month sentence instead of a 12-month sentence in each of these cases is because of the time limit imposed by the Bexar County Probation Department that takes them a month or two to process a defendant's request to move from one location to another. And right now, Mr. Payne is not certain of exactly where he's going to end up in 30 to 60 days. Would that be accurate, Mr. Payne?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Is that okay with the state?
Yes, Your Honor. That's okay.
Is that okay with the defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. That's all I got. Anybody got anything else that we need to talk about on Mr. Payne?
Nothing from the state.
defense, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Payne,
Thank you.
your attorney, I've been doing this 43 years. This is a hell of a deal, okay? You got 2 DWIs pending and you got deferred adjudication probation on both of them. I've never seen that happen in 43 years. So A, good for you for being in the military, which bought you that ticket And B, good for your attorney for being able to finesse that deal, because that's an incredible deal. Don't blow this. The
I won't, Your
possibility,
Honor.
I don't like to preach to people, but the possibility exists that if you blow this, those deferreds are going to turn into convictions, and you're going to have 2 DWI convictions, and the next one's a felony, and we don't want that, do we?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you're the man. Mr. Lamas,
Thank
anything
you, Your
further?
Honor.
Nothing from the defense,